This movie, okay, first of all, I watched it 3 times. And any movie that starts with a tarot card reading, I'm hooked. I'm so hooked. I have a list of notes. I have a list of like, oh my gosh, I read so many articles about this movie and did my due diligence, but I watched it like 3 times. Oh, I love it. 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 Okay, right out the gate, I'm going to tell you I love this movie. It was so ridiculous. It was
Mhm.
so
It
ridiculous.
was
I loved
so
it.
ridiculous, but so good. Yeah.
So good. Okay.
Yeah.
Uh um I'll let you go. I always let you go first because I'm always interested in what you're gonna say.
Okay, so this is the first time I've seen the movie in, I don't know, probably since I was a kid, like maybe 10 years old. I we used to rent it all the time when I was a kid. Like we would go to, do you remember Bernasconi's in the high desert, the
Yes.
video
Are you
store?
kidding?
Okay.
Yes. Oh my
Like
gosh,
back when there was
I
Blockbuster.
have not heard that name in so many years. Bernasconi's.
Yeah. So
Wow.
like we were too poor for Blockbuster, so we went to Bernasconi's because you could get dollar videos there.
Yes, and I don't
So
know whatever happened to that guy because I
it
swear
shut
he was
down.
doing drugs out the back door. You know what I'm
So
saying?
he was actually dating my older sister's best friend's mother.
Okay, so 6 degrees of separation. Okay. I love it.
So interesting tidbit there.
I
Nobody
love
knows who
it.
Bernasconi's is except for us. But
But listen, shout out to the one dude that worked at Bernasconi's and everything was covered in dust and we loved every minute of it.
yes, everything. Oh, that was the best place. So we would go there, and my parents would be like, pick out a movie. And this was like before my parents were like stalkers on us. This was back
Yeah,
before they
yeah,
got
yeah,
like
yeah.
crazy. So we would pick either The Labyrinth or Drop Dead Fred or Adventures in Babysitting or The People Under the Stairs. So me and my sister would watch this like literally every week. And it terrified me when I was a kid. Like I was so scared of this movie.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, it's funny you say the labyrinth because that's in my notes. I okay, I did not watch this one as a kid. I'm going to tell you this right now. This one never made it across my desk. So I was so happy to watch it. And it was a Wes Craven,
I
which we
know.
kind of said last time we met. We were like, oh, we should do a Wes Craven like
I have
dive.
no, I mean, obviously, when you're 10, you don't even know the directors, but I've never known it was
Yeah.
him. And
Yeah.
I guess I don't really see his style in it too much, but you kind of do. But you can tell it
Okay.
was one of his early ones.
Yes. And a lot of people said that. And a lot of people said it was influenced by so many movies. So I made up my own notes before I read anything. And here's my notes. Just like
Okay.
line by line. Tarot cards, the N word.
Oh,
Okay. There's one
like
in there,
three
just one.
times they said it. Yeah.
Ving Rhames, heavy, heavy themes, like heavy social
Oh,
themes.
yeah. Hmm.
Main characters were from Twin Peaks. Now, I remember that because my sisters watched Twin Peaks. I said, this movie is like The Labyrinth meets Home Alone meets Clue meets Die Hard meets Mad Max.
I
Tell me
100% agree. No,
I'm
that's
I
spot on accurate.
mad. Okay, for anyone who's not seen this, and I did not see this coming, this story is bizarre, literally pulled from the headlines. And all I want to say is this, Mallory. He came out, the lead bad guy came out in full leather, full face. I swear he had a ball gag.
Full S&M leather outfit. All it was missing was the ball gag.
He came out and I went, what the hell? What am I freaking watching, Mallory? I had to watch it 3 times. I had to watch it 3 times.
Oh my God. And
Okay,
I feel like
okay.
they did that. Well, they wanted him to look tough, but he did not look tough. He looked
No,
kinky.
he looked like the people from Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome. That's exactly who he looked like. Tina Turner was in that movie somewhere. I know she was. But okay, so really quick synopsis. Oh my gosh, and there is a lot, so I'll be really fast.
Yeah,
So these two rich people who we find out are like brother and sister, they don't even have names in the movie. They don't even have physical names.
they're mommy and daddy.
They're mommy and daddy,
Yeah.
which is just so kinky. And I loved it, and it made me think of Clue, and it made me think of oh shoot, what's his name that plays in Clue? Not
Tim Curry?
Tim Curry. Gosh, made me think of Tim
Yeah.
Curry. Um, they are like owners of this apartment building, and they're white, and the people who live in the apartment building are people of color, and they're basically like trying to get rid of them, scum, like they're disgusting. They say the N word, right? Well,
Hmm.
unbeknownst to them, unbeknownst to the people that live there, these two people are freaking freaks. So Ving Rhames is like the older boyfriend. He's trying to help the younger kid. His name is Fool. Go rob them. They're gonna go rob this couple. They know they have like a treasure somewhere in their house. Well, they break into the house and find out that these people are sick, sadistic psychos who have been holding, kidnapping and holding children under the stairs and letting them grow up all weird, malnourished, pale freaks of nature.
Yeah.
And everybody dies except for Fool, who's the kid, and then like the one girl that he saves. Her name, and I think it's
Alice.
Alice. But I was shocked and appalled at the aggressiveness of the themes, which was basically racism,
Hmm.
classism, capitalism, everything that people still talk about today and still goes on today was in this movie. And it has a happy ending because, yes, like the kid saves the girl and it's all
They
that.
all get money and stuff. Yeah.
But it's so kooky and corny and Mad Max feeling that you're laughing when you shouldn't be laughing.
Oh, yeah.
And then it feels like Home Alone. So this kid's in this like maze of house, can't get out, and he's like bashing people over the head with bricks and like tripping people, and like there's a
Hmm.
kid with no tongue that helps him. I can't explain this movie in faster than 5 minutes because
Yeah, it's a weird and winding road, this movie.
yeah,
And I
yeah.
think if you had seen it as a kid, you would have been like terrified because I was terrified of
Oh my gosh.
the mother with her pale face and the ginger hair. And it was just like, oh man, I was
Oh.
scared of her. Um, I was scared of the dad in his leather outfit. I was like, oh, he means business. He's in leather.
Yeah,
But, you know,
little
as an
did you
adult,
know, little did 5-year-old Mallory know, it had nothing to do with violence and everything to do with sexual innuendos. You
it
didn't
was
even know.
incest, with incestual
Incest,
sexual.
the
Yes.
brother and sister, and the leather, I couldn't. I was done.
Oh my God. Yeah. I mean, yeah, like it's basically just Home Alone, a horror Home Alone,
Yes.
basically. Yeah, that's
Yes.
what it is. But it's so
Yes.
good, and it's such a good watch, especially because it's Wes
Yeah.
Craven. Like you watch all his other stuff, you're like, you got to watch People Under the Stairs, like you know.
Yeah. And I
Um,
like I was shocked I hadn't seen it, but to be honest, to be fair, I don't think my mom was a Wes Craven fan because he was really kind of kooky noir, gothic, and like a lot of blood and
yeah.
um so I she wasn't really into that. She was more into like ghosts.
Mm.
So that's probably why it never made itself across my lap when I was a little kid or something.
And it was kind of obscure at the time, I believe, because it still is. It's like you either had seen it and loved it, or you had never seen it and never heard of it. That's kind of the
Yeah.
kind of movie it is.
Or you got 20 minutes in and you were just so offended by everything that came out of their mouths. And I'm talking Ving Rhames too. I almost wrote down some of his one-liners in this movie.
Oh my God. He is a badass in every movie he's in.
I loved him. And I heard that he got picked up for his the big breakout movie that he had made. He got picked up because some the director saw him in this movie and
Are
picked
you
him
talking about
up.
Pulp Fiction? Well, I
Yes,
don't know if that was his big. Oh, so Quentin Tarantino saw him in. Oh, I believe it,
Quentin Quentin
honestly.
Tarantino saw him in this movie and loved him in this movie because he was just off the cuff. Like I swear everything he said he made up in the second that he was just
I
standing there and
know.
just said
Because
it.
it was so like shocking. Like, Like that did not come from white bread Wes Craven.
No, ma'am.
That came from a legit black guy.
No, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the way he was so fool, the kid in the movie's like 13, and he's just saying the most ridiculously inappropriate, like, even to today's standards, I'm like, whoa, Ving, slow
Yeah.
down, slow down. He's 13, and he's a young 13. He's not a mature 13
No.
in the
Mm-mm.
movies.
Mm-mm. Yeah, I could see
I
that.
love
I
it.
could see that because literally his character in Marcellus Wallace in Pulp Fiction was basically just a rich version of his character in People Under the Stairs. Leroy. His name
Like,
was
yeah,
Leroy.
like a well-tuned version
Yeah, of Leroy. Mm-hmm.
of
Yep.
Leroy. Yeah, yeah. And it was
Yep.
funny. And it was funny, and like I said, when it shouldn't have been,
Mm-hmm.
but it was so slapstick and like, if you've ever seen Clue, okay? Clue has this timing that is so unique to that specific era of movies that were being made. And that's all I could think of when I watched it. Like the timing, the overacting made me laugh. Like the mom and dad, the brother and sister, overacted every single line that they had, but I
Oh
loved
God.
it.
It made them more psychotic, over the top, but yet at the same time you were like, you really believe these people were crazy.
Yeah,
Like
yeah. And
it was crazy.
the mom's face, and I'm not trying to be rude, but she looked like she could have been like a transgender, like something
Almost
about
like
her.
a drag queen. Yeah.
Yes, thank you. Like I think they put like prosthetics or makeup on her to make her face look so jutted out from her head. Like it
Yeah, like
looked
she was
big for
all
her.
angles, but yet she was no angles. She was all angles, yet
Ah,
no angles. It was weird. That's why I
it's
think she
weird.
freaked me out as a kid because she didn't look like a real face.
No, that's what I'm asking you, like, metaphorically, was it a mask? Because it was too it was too big for her head. Like if you were watching the movie, and again, I watched it 3 times in a row. It like
Yeah.
it just came out from her in a way that I'm like, did they put an extra jawline, or did they do
I would
makeup
believe
to
it.
pronounce her face? Cuz she otherwise, like, her hair was perfect, her body was perfect, her clothes were perfect, but her face just looked like it wasn't
It was
attached.
witchy poo. It was very witchy poo.
Yeah,
And
that's true.
uh, it scared me as a kid. I don't know what they did, but it worked.
Wait, time out. Do you remember when we were living in Hawaii? And this is so random, but I think about it often. And you asked Butthead to hang up curtains over the blinds, okay? You guys had like a sliding glass door, right? And he couldn't get the screws to go. And Nathaniel's like, "Well, yeah, there's metal there. You have to get screws that go through the metal." And you were like, "We are literally the dumbest people on the planet."
I don't remember, but I do believe it. That's the thing. I do believe it. Oh
I'm
my
so
God. I do remember that. Because we
yeah.
were like, why is there metal in the walls? And Nathaniel was like, it's insulation. It's for insulation. And I was like, what?
It's the framing. So around every window and door, they have metal framing so that it doesn't rot out, right? And I love it because he did try to hang the curtains, and it was just so ratchety. And I came in, you were like, "Yeah, we couldn't figure it out." And Nathaniel's like, "Well, they have screws that go through metal." Even I was like, "Oh, yeah." And you were like, "We're literally so I just remember you saying that, like, we're so dumb."
But like,
So,
who puts only Hawaiians would put metal around their walls right there. And
but
it was like
no,
this
it's
far from the plaster too. I remember it was
and
like right
yes,
underneath.
because in this house there's metal, and there's metal in random parts of the wall. I have tried to hang so many paintings and I hit metal. And I'm like, "It's the middle of the hallway. I don't even understand. Like, what do
That's
you
so
do?"
weird.
Yeah. Fun times, fast times at Ridgemont High. Okay, I was asking your perspective on the movie because you said you saw it when you were a kid. I thought it was good,
Oh, that's right. That's
comical,
right.
corny, but what was
Yeah.
your take?
Well, because that's what's interesting to me is you seen it now as an adult, 38 years old, I seen it for the first time as a 7-year old or whatever. So you're seeing all these like themes, you're seeing all these social issues in it. Whereas even now, when I watched it, I waited until the last second to watch it. So I just watched it recently. And I did not really see any. I mean, I saw the racism, I
Mm,
saw that, but it did not like click for me like, oh, that's what Wes Craven was trying to say. No, I literally seen it through the eyes of a 7-year-old again. And I was just enjoying it the whole time, remembering like I wrote down things like that I remember when you see those monkeys, the see no evil, hear no evil. This
yeah.
is literally the movie that taught me that phrase. Like that I never
Really? The
that
monkeys that
was.
do, they cover the
Yeah.
eyes, cover the ears, cover the mouth.
Yeah, I never had heard of that before. And this is the first time I had ever seen it, the first time I had ever heard of it.
Yeah.
Um, what
So for
else?
you, it was just fun and games, crazy
Yeah,
characters, kooky, scary stuff.
yeah,
You were too little to pick up on any
yeah.
of the,
And
and
even
it was
now I didn't pick up on it. I mean,
real.
I see
It's
it,
pretty
but yeah.
blatant.
But it
It's
is, but at the same time I didn't watch it like that. I just watched
yeah,
it like it was almost like I was a kid again, which was fun.
yeah. I kind of wish I could have seen it as a kid because I think I'd agree with you. Like I wouldn't have noticed even probably the N word or like his leather suit. I would have no, like understanding that any of that was pertinent or what it even meant. I would just be like, "Whoa, look at this guy." Like,
Exactly. Like I that's why the when they were saying the N word and they were saying like PUSSY and stuff like that, it shocked me because I don't remember that as a kid.
yeah.
It literally didn't stick in there. So I was like, "Bleh."
What was your memory of the movie? Like what
The
was your
memory of the
like
movie. Um, it was the people under the stairs. Their white faces, how scary they were, how
and I listen, look. I'm pale as they come.
no, they are this pale. They are
They
white.
are they were clown white makeup
Yeah.
from Spirit Halloween white. And then if you look at their faces closely, they did put prosthetics on them to
Oh
make
yeah.
their faces look jutted out like hers.
But they looked more puffy, almost like as if they were mutating.
Like Elephant Man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's
They did
exactly
look
what I
like that.
said. I was like, this looks like the elephant. Like the having no sun and no fresh air made them deformed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah.
Um, what did I notice this time? You know what I noticed this time as I was watching it as a kid, and it's probably the most basic things, but I noticed the house. Like you had talked about, oh, the house, blah blah blah. I was like, this house is gorgeous, but it also
Mhm.
reminded me of the house from Disturbia. Do you remember that movie with Shia LaBeouf? It's like the
Yes.
remake of Rear Window. Yeah.
Like it has lopsided tiers. Remember he had like the
Yeah, like it's
upstairs
yeah,
half
everything's
attic or
like
whatever.
that. There's like rooms. First of all, I love this house. I want a house like this where
Yeah.
it has like
Yeah.
we're
It still
always.
stands.
I wonder
It
if I
still
could buy it.
stands today. It's a historical site. You can actually go and walk through it to my
I should
knowledge.
go. I should go and like see it, but
Yeah.
it's not the same house. It just really looks alike. I also what let me see. Oh,
I mean,
Sean
that house
Wayland.
was spotless, by the way.
Yeah, when they weren't murdering people and stuff, like it was a
And
nice house.
I think they had Alice literally cleaning every inch of that house.
Well, she never left. What else was she gonna do?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know? No, you know what I love too is I love that movie Twister, with the
Yeah.
tornadoes.
Oh,
Like,
heck yeah.
yeah. Sean Whalen is in Twister and he's in this movie. He's Roach. He's Roach, the guy with no tongue.
Oh, yes. And
Yeah.
he's in Employee of the Month. He if you've ever seen that movie with oh gosh, what's
Jane Cook.
Dane Cook? That's where we were okay, listen. This movie was so crazy it got Nathaniel's attention. He was turned around playing his game, and the ridiculousness was so crazy. He kept turning around to watch it. And we were like, where's that guy from? Roach. So Roach has had his tongue cut off in the movie, and he's
Yeah.
like one of the kids. He's in an Employee of the Month. He's like a comedic actor.
I don't remember him from. I remember Dax Shepard and Jessica Simpson and Dane Cook. I don't remember
Yeah.
him from that one. I haven't seen it in a while though,
He's
so that could be
he's
why.
the he's the manager's like assistant. He's like up the manager's
Oh,
butt.
now I
Yeah.
can see him.
Yeah. But
Yeah,
I
he's all
forgot he was
squirrely.
in Twister too. I love that movie.
Yeah, I love that movie. So
Aw.
when I seen him this time around, I was like, oh, I love Sean Whalen, but that was it
Yeah.
basically.
But
But
here's what's funny is he's known for being a comedic actor. And then
but
he
he
was
was
in
kind of
this.
comedic in this,
Yeah, that's what I'm
you
saying. Like
know?
he was kooky and like he kept smiling and like
Yeah.
because his tongue was cut out, he couldn't talk. And
Hmm.
then at one point he like sticks it out and he's like I don't know why I did that, but
Girl,
it made me
thanks,
laugh.
thanks. Got it. You have no tongue. Got it.
I'm so beat red from laughing. Um so
And
so
then the
to
little kid,
you it was
the
just
little
like
I know. He was so good.
yeah.
Um, the little kid, Fool, he was in Sandlot. He was the pitcher
Mhm.
in the Sandlot.
Yeah, he was
So
a
that was
famous kid
fun.
actor.
Yeah, he was. And I don't know why, but for some reason I thought that he had like some trouble with the law or something, but he hasn't. I mean, he kind of has. He was in a car where somebody got shot, but it was like some psycho fan of his friend or something. But
You
I don't
know,
know
that's
why
one
for
thing I didn't look up. Like, sometimes I look up, oh, what are they doing now? I didn't even look it up. I should have looked up, I wonder what he's doing now.
as
Because,
far as I know, he's not super acting, but
no. But
yeah.
I did read somewhere that, like, the 30-year anniversary of it was in 2021. And so
Oh,
there were, like, quite a few theaters that were showing it for the year of its release, which I thought was
oh,
really
that's
cool. And
cool.
he ended up showing up to, like, I guess a couple of them, or he was involved in it in some way or something.
Oh, that would have been cool to see. That
Yeah.
would have been really cool.
But this was taken from a true story, which
Yeah,
is
and
cool.
I could not find like the full story behind it. It was just basically like, oh, these two intruders broke into a house and discovered these two kids that the parents were basically neglecting and never let leave the house and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
I wanted to find out like more. No, no.
Like Fool, if you think of the character in the movie, he's gone for how long? Is it one day?
It's
Like,
like one day, and he's far away because when you think about it, they go on the roof, right? And he's like, "Oh, look, I can see the lights of the ghetto." The ghetto's like 30 miles away. Like
correct.
the ghetto's in
And
East LA, and he's like in Hesperia. How did you get there?
nobody will get that reference, but basically LA to Barstow. Um, here's the thing. Ving Rhames, who's like this big burly black dude, we love Ving Rhames. He takes him all the way into the city, like
Mhm.
30 miles away, to rob these people, and he's 13. So like it's I love I just loved it. I just loved every second of it.
Yeah, it was great. It was
Like it
great.
was
It's the epitome of
ridiculous.
the 80s. Yeah,
Epitome
it
of the
was
80s.
great.
And that's why I was like, it's Clue, it's Mad Max, it's Home Alone, it was the end of the 80s era when like things started to get more serious in cinema
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
and you lost the goofiness and like heavy themes weren't pointed out to you, they were more subtilized.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? I don't know if I have
yeah.
any more notes. I'm going to look at my notes. It was good. I really liked it.
All my notes I think we talked about already.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what I want to know is they never really explained why these brother and sister, whatever, stole all these kids from the ghetto, which all these kids were white from the ghetto, so they stole all the white kids. Um,
Oh my
why?
gosh.
Did you notice that? Because at the end, everyone
Yeah.
comes and it's all people of color that come to this house and they're like, hey, you've been, stealing, not stealing from us, but taking our money and like really undermining
Right.
us and like taking our kids. But when you look at all these kids when they come out of the house after it blows up, they're all white kids.
Well, man, that's such a good question, but I'll throw it back to the monkeys see no evil, hear no evil, do no evil. I think it was a less subtle theme that like basically if you don't know I'm doing it, it's not evil. And if you look at Alice, so Alice is not their kid. They don't have
No,
any
she was,
kids of their own.
yeah, she was stolen.
I think they were stealing kids, and when the kids just wouldn't stop acting up, they put them in the basement. Because Alice was very proper and she did what they said, and she was cleaning and like she didn't seem to fight them as much.
Yeah.
So she was the good one that they got. But they weren't going to kidnap any black kids because they were racist. They didn't want any of that in their house.
So maybe they wanted a kid, but every time they got the kid, it was a bad kid. It was do evil. So they
Yes.
would just toss it under the stairs because they didn't care about it, but they couldn't let it go. So,
And they were oh, excuse me. They were brother and sister. So I mean, unless you want to get gross, they couldn't really have a kid together, or they shouldn't have. Or maybe they tried to. Maybe some of those kids were their incessant kids.
ooh, maybe that's why they look so weird.
That's so gross. They were
You
so
just did a roast
deformed.
thing.
uh, that is going to be the thumbnail for this video. Right there. Yeah, I don't know. That's such a good question. And I
Yeah.
think that I just go way too deep with everything. In fact, I know I do. But honestly, they wanted a perfect family. They wanted to look a certain way and get
Yeah.
rid of all the people of color. And what's crazy though is if you look at the house in the beginning, the house, the apartment complex, it's gross and dirty and like rats and there's
It
like
reminded me
a
of Candyman apartment. The projects there in
yes,
greeny something. I forget.
yes. And like there's like a trash can fire and it's so cliche of what the ghetto looks like,
Yeah.
but they want better tenants. So the whole premise is like they don't what they're saying is one thing and what they do is another thing.
Yeah.
Because no gentrified person is going to move there.
Well, didn't they
People,
say at the end like you don't take care of your buildings so that your people will leave or whatever or become so bad they leave and then they tear it all down and build an office building. So
yeah,
maybe
oh, the
that's why they let
girl,
it go to
yeah,
crap.
who was that came to the door and said that?
That was the
You-
sister.
oh, okay, so the sister said that.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. It was very like, it didn't really make sense, but then I thought they are really crazy though. Like,
Yeah, they really none of their thinking makes any sense. So it probably made sense in
no.
their heads, but not in real life.
It was like I said, it was get rid of the trash, but we have kids under our stairs
Yeah, they were hiding their trash. Does that make
that are
sense? Like they were hiding their
yes.
evil. Yeah.
That's the metaphor I was trying to get to. But yeah, I think that's what it is and it was very apparent that like there were scenes in the movie though like between Fool and Alice where he was like we got to be in together with this and if we work together we'll get out of this and it was showing how if you want to go this deep they could have had unity but there are people like mom and dad the brother and
Hmm.
sister who are just
Not mom and
disgusting
dad, mommy and daddy.
mommy and daddy who are just disgusting and only want for evil things and they're
Yeah.
destroying their community and destroying the black people's community so it's
Yeah.
like
Hmm.
it was very political had I seen it when I was 7 I would have had no idea I would have probably just been like what's going on
I'm
I
so
don't
scared of the monsters. That's what she would have been like.
well and I love that the people under the stairs are the kids that have grown up and they
Yeah.
help him in the end. They help Fool in the end, and they've been trapped. And I love that Fool literally blows the guy up. The end of the movie is great.
Hmm.
Yeah,
They
I
had like a
loved it.
treasure. It's crazy. It's crazy.
I loved it, and they got the treasure.
Mm-hmm.
So it made me think of Goonies.
Yeah, me too. At a time, if you had to give 1 out of 10, or how many out of 5 stars, how many
Yeah.
stars would you give this movie?
Oh, five. Five
Yeah,
for
me too.
sure. Five for
5.
sure. Listen, it's not our typical scare your pants off movie.
No.
It's just good for what it is. And I was happy to watch it and be like, this is just good. This is just a good
Yeah.
movie.
Uh-huh.
Everybody should watch it. I don't think I have any other notes. What did you give it?
Oh, 5.
Yeah.
It's been a 5 since I was
Yeah.
7 years old.
And the first scene is a woman reading tarot cards.
You're done.
You went up from there. You
Yeah,
never
you won
let me
already.
down the rest of the
Yeah,
movie.
you've already won.
Yeah. If you like Mad Max, Clue, and Home Alone, add a little bit of the labyrinth, a little
And
bit of
you don't
diet.
mind too many N words. There's not
Yeah.
too many. There's about 3 too many. There shouldn't be any, but if you
There's
can
three
stomach
too
it.
many, which one was too many. But like,
One was too many, yes.
it's intriguing in the way that Django Unchained was intriguing. Obviously, they
Yeah,
didn't
it
want
was
to.
sort of like it wasn't gratuitous, at least. It was like, yeah,
No,
you know that these people honestly talk like that. Like
yeah,
it was part of the theme.
yes, it wasn't out of character. It was actually giving us their character because they said it
Yeah,
so
exactly.
freely that honestly, today this movie would be canceled.
Like, yeah, for those words probably alone.
Yeah.
So if you can stomach that, then definitely watch it.
Stomach it for Ving Rhames, stomach it for um
For
the
Sean
kids and
Whalen,
for
stomach it for
Sean
him.
Whalen, for the kids under the stairs with the elephant faces. Just do it. Just
Yeah, just
shh.
stomach it.
This is why we're here. This is why we're here. Just freaking do it. This is why we're
Oh
here.
my god.
This is why we're here. ASMR.